Welcome back to the Application Lifecycle Development course. In this lesson, we're going to walk through a simple development flow. So what that means is we're going to pretend we're a developer, which not that far off, but we're going to walk through what maybe a single developer might do on their own as opposed to in a team. Okay, so for this, I think what I'm going to do is open the source code up. And we're going to pretend like we have an idea to modify our application in some way. Now, for a single developer or maybe a couple of developers working together, it might not be a formal process. Now, I encourage you to start to move towards a formal process as you go. But for a single developer, especially, a formal process for developing a roadmap and bug reports and all those kind of things isn't really necessary. Because it puts a whole bunch of kind of paperwork, only it's digital usually, hopefully, but it puts paperwork around your process and it kind of reduces the amount of time you have to code. But at the same time, you should have some sort of process. So for me, if I'm doing a personal project, I'll have a notepad next to my mouse. And then every time I come across a bug, I'll write it down if I can't fix it right then. And anytime I want a feature added, I'll write it down. And then I'll go through my list and start fixing the bugs and adding the features and crossing them off as I go. Piece of paper, notepad, and it's no big deal. It's something that I understand, and even in bad handwriting, it's okay. It works. That's kind of what we're going to do here, is something that, it is simple. We don't want to put a whole bunch of stuff around that process. Okay? So I've got an idea that I want to change the home page, the index page. Because right now it says A. line. You can do this in Visual Studio as well, but I've already demonstrated just working right on master. The problem is if you mess master up, you've got some issues to work with as far as, well, if you wipe out master, which you can do and start over, but then you lose all your changes. So this way, if you work on a branch and you mess something up, you can fiddle with it and play with it and yet still have master as the clean branch. So what we're going to do is create a new feature branch. So we're going to do a git checkout -b for create new branch, and we'll call this branch, we could call it feature 1, which is not really descriptive, or we could call it something like fix homepage. Okay, so this will be the fix homepage branch. Hit enter, and now I'm on fix homepage. Remember, it brought all of master over at the same level as at. So anything that was checked into master comes across a fix homepage as well. If I do a git status real quick, there we go. Now there is no upstream branch. There is no origin/fix homepage, and there won't be. But I'm going to be on fix homepage. And now if we come back over here to Team Explorer, if we look at what branch we're on, you'll see that we're on the fix homepage branch, and there's our 3 normal branches. And I have no changes yet, but let's make some changes. So let's call this the lifecycle project demo. And we'll get rid of this code right here, this text. And instead, what we're going to say is, this is an application built to demonstrate the application lifecycle of a developer. or that a developer uses. Okay, and again, we're going to change this link over to be www.iamtimcorey, if I can spell my own name, iamtimcorey.com. All right, that's all we're going to change right now. I'll hit save. Let's do this at the command line just to kind of demonstrate it. So get status. Notice now that I have one modified file. So I can do a get add dot. Now it seems like nothing happened, but if I do a get status now, I see it's green instead of red. And that's because changes to be committed. That means that this is in the stage. And this is saying, here's what you do to unstage this file or take it out of the staging. But I want it to be there. Now, when you add a commit, when you make a commit, then it's kind of hard on the command line. But I have set up, and this is one of the options when you do that installer from git-sem, is you can set up which application you want to use as your commit message application, because the one they give you is kind of hard to use. So I can just say git commit, and that's it. And it pulls up Notepad++ for me. That's really helpful because Notepad++, I understand how to use it. Now it's a little interesting how it uses it because it's not really Notepad++. It's kind of like a shrunk down version of it. So I just want to show you a couple of quirks about it. But first, let's start off by noticing that these pound signs, they're going to get ignored. So those lines. So we're going to do, and it does say what's being modified so I can see that. But the first line I want to give up here at the top is going to be that subject line. So we'll say fix homepage wording. And our message, remember, hit the enter twice. So we're on line 3. And the message or the body of our message is going to be change the index page to reflect real values instead of template values. Something like that. Now you don't have to hit save. All you need to do is hit the X in the upper right hand corner. When it closes out, and that's why I said a little quirky, when you close this out, it's going to capture this information and use that as your commit message. It's actually asking me to save. That's interesting. I'm going to hit yes. That's, I guess, a new feature because it didn't used to do that. At least I didn't think it did. And now we have our commit. So there's our commit number. And this number is actually longer than this, but that's a shortened version of it. And it's just a unique identifier for this particular commit. And then here is that subject line, fix homepage wording. And we can actually see the body of it if you wanted to expand that, but that's fine. One file has changed. We have 3 insertions. We have 3 deletions. Okay, so that tells you what was changed in that one file even. Now if we do a get status, we're on branch homepage, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. So you've got one commit, but now what? We don't have an upstream, we're not going to send it to the upstream. Well, at this point, we can make more changes if you want to and commit them as well. But I think that we're done. I think that's all we need to do to fix the homepage. And so what I'll do is I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to clear the screen. So I'll say git checkout master. Then I'm going to do a git pull. Now don't worry, I'm going to do the same process in Visual Studio as well, just to show you the difference. But I want to do this in command line, all command line first, just to show you how easy it is and also get you a little bit comfortable with it. So git pull is going to grab all the changes off of origin master and bring them down into my master. Notice I'm on the master branch because I did a checkout master. So git pull, I should have no changes, but let's just make sure. Even though you're working alone, still check. It's a good habit to be in in. And also that one time you take your laptop and make some changes and commit them and then go back to your desktop, well, you're going to have changes to pull down. Okay. Or that one time that you make a modification directly on Azure DevOps website, you're going to have changes to pull down. So just note, always do a pull first. So now master is up to date with origin master. My local copy is the same as the remote copy. Now I'm going to actually git checkout fix homepage. Now this step some people don't do, and they do it in the other order, but I'm going to say why I do this. What I do now, let's clear this out. What I do is, now that I'm on my feature branch, the branch I'm making my changes on, I'm going to merge in the latest from master. Git merge master. And the reason I do it this way is if there's a conflict or a problem where the files are different on both and it causes a collision, I want that mess to be on my feature branch, not on master. So I want to fix it over here, not in my main branch. So git merge master, it's already up to date, meaning there's no changes on master that have to come in. So now there's no changes, I know it's safe because they're both kind of in sync. So now I can do a git checkout master. And now I'm going to merge the other direction. And the reason I did the merge from in fix homepage, bring master in, is because I wanted to have those issues in fix homepage. But now that the issues are fixed, or there's no issues, now I can do the other direction because I just merged it. So they're going to be in sync. There's going to be no problems. So I can do git merge fix homepage. And notice it does what's called a fast forward. A fast forward means there's no merging going on. There's no conflicts that's resolving. It's just bringing in the new commits and adding it to the end. So now my changes are on my local master. And this happens, I do this process once I know I'm done with my fix homepage. I mean, I'm done with all the changes that need to go into that one particular bundle. Now I can commit this to remote master as well. So git push to push it to the remote or origin master. Now remember, at this point, it's just kicked off a build process. Now, since I brought my changes into master and I've pushed them up and I'm done with that branch, I can do a git branch -d for delete, and then my branch name, which time. As a single developer, you probably won't do that. But imagine you're working on a new feature and it's kind of a bigger one. You're kind of working on it and you're 2 days into this process, and then someone says, oh, we've got a big bug in production. And you go, oops. You go to production and look, and yep, that's a divide by zero error, which we actually have in our code. So you go, Well, I just need to fix that one little error. I know where it's at. So what do? Well, you go back to master and create a new branch off of master to fix that bug. You fix the bug, you push it through the pipeline, and then when you're done, then you can merge that code into your feature branch as well. So that allows you to kind of put your half-finished code on the shelf for a little bit while you fix the bug and push that through production, and then come back and keep working on the half-fixed or half-formed code. Okay? So branch is very, very helpful. If you want to elevate your game with the least amount of work and yet the most amount of impact, creating branches instead of just working off of master will do that for you. Okay, so we just pushed to master. Oh, one more thing. This lowercase d, like I said, that will make sure that fixed homepage is merged in somewhere else, in this case in the master. If it yells at you, that probably means you didn't merge it in. If you really want to get rid of a branch that you don't want to merge in, capital D will fix that for you. It will delete a branch even if it's not been merged in, but just know all your changes are gone permanently. So now you've pushed things through, let's go ahead and look at our build system and see where we're at. Let's go to our pipeline, look at the build. That build looks like it's complete. So let's go to release. And development is currently pushing out our changes. Now, what we would do is once those changes go to development, we would test them on the server. And we'll do that. And then the next step would be that we would, maybe have 2 or 3 or 4 changes and put that in a staging. And say these are the changes we want to bundle together and make into the next version of our website. But in a single developer environment, you might not even have a staging environment. Now, I'd encourage you to, because that really protects you, because it gives you that step to make sure that you're deploying correctly and you have all your things set up in between development and production. And that's really helpful. But really all you're going to do is, just like I said, show you before, check out staging, merge in master and push it up. Check out release, merge from staging and push it up. We're not going to do that for this process because of the fact that, it's done. Because of the fact that we've seen this before, okay? So this is done, but we do want to check out and make sure that the changes are going live. So let's grab the URL for our development website and make sure that, in fact, it does look like the changes we expected it to be. We didn't even run these changes locally, which we should have. That's always the first place to test, is locally. Test locally, then push to your development environment, and then continue to push through to staging and production when you're ready. Okay? But we're going to test this on dev. And there we go. Lifecycle project demo. Application built to demonstrate the application lifecycle. And learn more should go to imtimcorey.com. It does. So that's excellent. So we're all set now with the new changes. But what if we have more changes to do? For example, in our overview page, we still have these links here. Now, in the simple development process with one person and not a lot of overhead, I'd probably say, you know what? I'm going to write this down as a bug and put it on a notepad and come back to it. Instead, what we're going to do is in the next lesson, where we do a little more advanced flow, what we'll do is we will create a bug report for this, actually in the boards section. And then we will also create a feature issue or feature request. And then we'll go into Visual Studio and go through a similar process of creating a branch and merging it in all the rest with those bugs and attaching those to our commits. Okay, so that's the next lesson. But for now, that's all we had to do for the simple development process. Pretty simple, right? Well, stick around for the next lesson.